We are at day 4. After understanding the landscape, foundational steps of how machines learn, and the key trends in AI space. All right, now I'll point you to today's resource, an excellent and evergreen read on strategy, which is a very old post, by the way, but it's equally relevant in today's time. Why am I sharing this in Gen AI series? Because a part of my responsibility is to give you BT signal, which might not necessarily mean looking on to the next big shiny thing. But before I do that, let me share 3 key factors that help you build your decision muscle and basically build a lens through which you can hone your perspective of how to be agile and think through on your feet in the era of rapidly evolving technology. So point number 1, managing innovation versus FOMO, which is fear of missing out. Generative AI became table stakes in no time, which means executives ought to feel the fear of missing out. And everybody wants to leverage the time to market as a competitive advantage. If you can do it, good for you. But being a first mover also comes with thinking through the downsides. Have I accounted for all the regulations, compliance, or have understood the impact of it on stakeholders, be it internal or external? The second point is on looking left, right, and center, which means you must understand the industry and sector specific dynamics. What are your peers doing? What are those key initiatives that they are prioritizing and how? Again, it gives you a perspective, which means what? Should you take this information? Yes. Take it as one of the signals now to go deeper within your organizational goals. Remember, you have looked left and right. Now it's time for you to take this as a signal to go deep within your organizational priorities, which means your business is uniquely positioned to either make or not make similar moves. And then it's for you to decide how to react to the competition, which means like looking left and right is important, but then it's ultra important to look deeper. And the third and the last one is of thinking what technology enables us to achieve. It can help streamline business processes, bring operational efficiencies, but there is more to it. It calls for a delicate balance that we have to maintain, or a kind of a trade-off, which means that should we attempt for something which is an easy or quick win or something we call as low-hanging fruits versus working on an initiative which brings the benefit at a larger scale. So in this post, you'll get to see 3 key points. The first one is on how companies need to be flexible to respond rapidly to competitive and market changes, something that we are witnessing since the onset of generative AI era. Also, the need to constantly benchmark yourself to achieve the best practices. What's the right way to do it? There are some industry standards or how your peers are doing it. The third one is on the difference between operational effectiveness and strategy. Operational gains can be really short term because your peers can quickly imitate them. They are easily imitable, if I say. And your business needs to be consistently profitable from new initiatives. You need to have sustainable source of profits from whatever initiative you're picking. So once you've finished reading this post, which is on strategy level, and it's a very old post, you'll see how starkly relevant it is in today's time. And then start tying the dots around how OpenAI positioned itself and marched ahead of the competition. There are some instances where I totally reckon with the author in this post, which is how differentiation arises from the choice of activities and how they are performed, both what you're choosing to do and how you're doing it. Your execution makes a lot of difference. And how do you develop better products, but faster? Because time to market is important. The definition of better in today's time is debatable because we have seen the other side of it, the repercussions of the products. Still, the talks are doing the rounds that transformer architecture was Google's baby and how is benefiting the ones who've made better use of it and faster. The other important point is how to eliminate wasted effort and what is not necessary. Knowing that is more important than knowing what needs to be done. Being nimble, focusing on singularities, where I talk about that you achieve a larger magnitude of scale. And once you've extracted the juice from operational effectiveness, it looks like the end of the road, which could result into zero-sum competition. The static or declining prices, which is going to put pressure on the cost factors, which is again going to in turn limit your ability to continue investing in the business for the long term, the innovation factor, right? The exploration side of it. So being competitive means you're doing things, but differently than your peers. That makes it your USP, which is explained through a beautiful example on IKEA, the global furniture retailer. And I know it's going to be a long read, but I hope I've made it interesting enough for you by sharing key highlights and then kind of the backdrop of linking it with the race to the top that we are witnessing in the tech world today. Do share if you have any comments, or let me know if you want me to make a detailed video on this. I'll see you next time. Stay tuned.